Welcome everyone, it's Mike Newton here at Lytham Golf Academy. I've got a new iron review here for you today with the new Titleist AP2 718 iron. So, Titleist have launched a brand new series of irons, 6 in total in the 718 series. 3 are aimed for the tour category, 3 are distance. So in the tour category we've got the MB, the straight out blade, the CB, the very small cavity, and then the AP2, so they're all forged heads. And then in the distance category, we've got the AP3, which is a brand new iron or model that they've launched. They've got obviously the AP1, which has been updated, and the TMB, which is now available in a full set, where last year it was just long irons. Distance category, those 3 irons aren't forged. The Tour series are all forged. So the AP2 is the more forgiving iron in the Tour series. Obviously, their flagship iron from Titleist, used on many tours across the world, very, very popular iron. And for me, first instincts as I got this, or first instincts as I saw it, was so much better on the look of it. I think the finish on the back is absolutely class. I think it just is a stunning, looks very classy, looks expensive, just looks a beautiful bit of, crafting of the head here. Obviously got the classic, very high polished areas here on the toes, the heels, the sole around there that you expect from many sort of Titleist sort of irons, that classic look. Obviously forged head, it's got some good technology under the bonnet here. You don't actually see it, but it's got some perimeter tungsten weight in here, so again that's helping on MOI. What Titleist is saying here is it's improved its turf interaction from the previous model here. So that was one of the biggest feedbacks I think they got from the tour players, was the turf interaction maybe wasn't quite as good. So they're saying they've made an improvement here. Ever so slight ball speed increases, little bit of distance increases, but it's not something that they're shouting about. Okay, obviously AP2 is completely designed for consistency of spin, consistency of distance number, playability and feel. It's nothing to do with distance here. So the loft on this is a 7 iron. Loft is 34 degrees, which is pretty lofted nowadays, but I would say it's quite a true loft there. The MB blade and the CB are 35 degrees, so they're even 1 degree weaker again. So yeah, this is at 34. So what we're going to do here, we've got GC2 HMT set up here. I'm going to hit some shots for this, give you guys a bit of feedback on looks behind the ball, feel, a little bit of flight feedback, and then we'll look at some data on the launch monitor of actual numbers. Right, so let's have a little look at its play position here. So as I sit that down by the golf ball, straight away it's just a beautiful clean look. Very little offset there. Sort of a medium to thinnish top line. It's not the thinnest. I'm expecting maybe see a thinner top line in the MB and the CB iron, but it's just a very classic look. It's just got Titleist written all over it for me. They're always going to make this very classic players looking golf club, and this is no exception here. It really does look stunning behind that golf ball. I think I'm going to maybe have a look at the old AP2, and I'll probably do a separate video comparison between the new one and obviously the 716 here. To me, this looks a better shape. It's maybe hard to sort of, without getting them side by side, to really tell what is the difference here, but to me it looks a little bit more rounded on that toe section there. I think the AP2 previous was a little bit squared off at the end. To me anyway, that looks really, really nice. Okay, let's get this first one hit here. So I've got myself set up 175 yards away from this green, so I'm not expecting a big distance here with a loft of this golf club. So quick go. Yeah, it's a nice opening strike there, nice shot. That's hitting the green quite nicely, carrying out 168. Yeah, 168. So honestly, what I'm seeing there is more, it's not going to be a distance hitting golf club here. I'd probably lofts in that low 30s. I'm hitting sort of 180 carry, 175, 180. This is like that was a nice little draw shape there. That was 168. Yeah, it feels fantastic there, really feels good. It's a very high towering ball flight, struck that really well. Yeah, 173, so a little bit of better strike there straight away. And that's spinning at just under 6,000 there. super strike again. The sound of it is really, really stunning. It's very muted, it's very understated on the sound. It's just a very sort of classic sound. Obviously the look is very much influenced from the tour players. You know, definitely that tour look there, that tour sort of feel, that sound is very subtle. It's not loud, it's not brash. It's just a very sort of muted sound. Everything you'd expect from a sort of player's iron, that obviously that forged iron. Wow. Love that flight. So high in tower. And I know that it's going to stop into any sort of green, whether it's rock hard, it's downwind. I know I've got a little bit of control with that because of the height that it's coming in at. Be interested to look at some spin numbers here, but that just feels absolutely fantastic. I love the flight of it, and to be honest, I mean, I've struck those better, and probably got better strikes as I've gone on in those 4 shots there. But the feel of it is beautiful. The looks is absolutely stunning. Definitely for me, a far better looking golf club than the previous one. Even just cosmetics at the back, I think is stunning. But even down by the golf ball there, it just there's nothing wacky going on. It's just as clean and beautiful look you'd expect. Really like that. Right, let's go and have a look at some numbers and see how that is actually performing. Okay, let's have a look at some numbers here. So 94 clubhead speed on average, got 123 ball speed. We've got 19 launch angle here, so a little bit higher than maybe what I hit 7-iron on launch, but obviously because of the loft, that's understandable. Spin number there at 5.7 now, that's maybe a little bit lower than what I expected. I expected that to get into the 6,000s there with that 34 degrees of loft. Having said that, I did hit quite a few over sort of probably a little bit aggressive on the draws there that I normally do. So obviously the more right to left shape you put on the golf ball, the lower the spin number will come out. So it's probably to do a little bit more with the side spin more than obviously the golf club itself. But what I do like from that is the consistency of the numbers, and this is exactly what Titleist is sort of promoting here. Is these numbers, spin numbers, are going to be really tight. Okay, consistency is the word obviously we're looking for here. So it's doing the same sort of thing for each shot. As you can see, I'm just moving that right to left spin. Maybe that last one a little bit aggressive there. You can see how that just drops that down to 5.6. You know, the 800 L draw spin there again, 5.6. So you know, a little bit lower than maybe where I'd want it, but that again, I think if I change my shot shape, more of my delivery, that number will go into the 6,000s there. Descent angle coming at 48, peaking at 36. As I say, it's quite a nice high flight there, and averaging at 173 on carry. So obviously not the longest golf club there, but again, it's not designed to be. It's more consistency, which is what we're sort of seeing through those spin numbers. Right guys, there we have it, AP2 in the 718 series. So for me, big ticks, well done Titleist. You know, I think it looks absolutely stunning. It feels great. Sat behind the golf ball, it looks great. You know, it's not. I don't think you can really say a bad word about this iron. The feel, the looks, yeah, the numbers are pretty good there. You know, it's consistent, which is what they're sort of promoting. It feels pretty forgiving there. I think that tungsten weight underneath is playing a big part of that in terms of trying to push this weight a little bit into the heel and the toe. Again, it helps MOI. And obviously forgiveness across the club face here. But you know, a beautiful look, a beautiful looking iron, great feel. I think you need to go and test this, guys, if this is in your category. Definitely suiting that sort of low handicapper through to probably, you know, 11, 12, maybe even 13 handicap here, who's maybe quite a good striker of a golf ball. This is probably a good iron to have a look at. Obviously they've introduced AP3, which I'm going to test next. That video will be coming next. Which is going to be really interesting because they're sort of, you know, where does that AP3 fit in the set here between obviously AP2 and AP1? It'd be quite interesting. I always think there was a bit of a gap because AP2 was a very classic, small-looking club. AP1 was pretty big offset, big chunky line. There was sort of a big jump from one to another. So I think AP3, again, we'll have a look at the video coming up soon, but I think AP3 will sit in there quite nicely. And maybe even start to see some blended sets with AP3 in the long irons and maybe AP2 in the shorter irons. Be interesting, really. Let me know your comments down below. Okay, guys. Thanks for watching. I hope you like the video here, the new Titleist AP2 iron. Good iron is that. Do comment down below, share the video around, hit that subscribe button, and hopefully I'll catch up with you all very soon.